Hello everybody, welcome to another daily dose of gaming news and all that good stuff. And as always, before I proceed, I also publish on Rumble and on all this social stuff here. So we got some stuff here. We got like a demo that came out, Unreal Engine 5 one. This one is themed the Old West Northwood. It's available for download, and again, this is Unreal Engine is very impressive on their technology here, and how they and supposedly it's like playable like the demo. You can go around and check. This is going to push our systems to the limit. Layers of Fear is one of the first ones, at least with some relevancy, that came out with Unreal Engine 5, but it's a very like horror, so there is no big open areas and stuff. But yeah, we are going to start to see one of the things that I am most curious about this thing with Unreal Engine is how like systems can be integrated regarding like gameplay mechanics and like quests and all that stuff, because usually visually it's already impressive with the Lumen technology, the foliage stuff, even the textures things, how they are rendered differently. There was that demo with the car stuff in the forest, and of course the procedurally generated modules that they have. It's also very impressive, which gives more chances and possibilities for like single creators doing a game, like a small scale game, or even small teams doing can for example do a bigger game in terms of scope, because usually what spends a lot of time, it's like creating in this kind of natural landscapes. What kind of wastes a lot of time is like creating the trees, the bushes, the particles that are like rocks, bigger rocks and everything, that sometimes you have to put it everything, even like buildings. I suppose that procedure generated buildings with similar aesthetics and everything. I think it's more, I'm more interested in these kind of things, because visually it's more than good. But yeah, it's available for download if you have a system that can handle these kind of things. Just go there. There is a link here on the thing, and I will leave the link to the article in the description. AMD CEO, so Lisa Su, I think it's how she's called. They are teasing they call it ROCm. Yeah, ROCm. It's how it's pronounced. It's not ROCm or something like that. Supposedly it's coming to Radeon like consumer GPU, so the 7000 series, 6000 series. Basically this is like the competitor of CUDA, so it's basically like an ecosystem of a lot of stuff, which is basically like sets of languages, compiler libraries and tools. It's basically what we are seeing with the RTX stuff there, that they have a lot of stuff that can go about it, and like in terms of optimization of like production apps and everything. I think it's also applicable to gaming to a certain extent, but yeah, it's good to see it. And it's the good thing of ROCm is it's open source, so they are going to start like introducing, I suppose, drivers to support the more consumer variants of the AMD ones, and I think it's going to be it's always good to have like this open source stuff, so more people have access and can do great things with this kind of things, because CUDA by itself is very good, but because it is basically proprietary stuff from NVIDIA. I told a few months ago, NVIDIA wants to go to be the Apple of the PC. It wants to compete with Apple, and with that we are seeing a lot of how the hardware they are launching and everything, and the proprietary technologies that they have. They want to control everything from supply chains and everything. So it's, I don't know, we need more competition on this field. But yeah, it's good to see that it will come soon. Supposedly by the end of the year everything should be already like set up to support all of these kind of tools. So it's always good to have this kind of awareness regarding this. Now, hardware stuff. I spoke about this, the new MSI's power supply stuff with the yellow thingy, so you can properly sit the connectors, the 16 pin connectors from this ATX 3.0, and this is one of my pet peeves. And already told you that one of my biggest opinions is there is a flawed design on this system of how they handle this. One of the things that I'm most concerned, mainly because of the future-proof stuff here, is how many watts and the voltages, and to a certain degree some like the potency of the current. I'm not sure if the connectors and the cables can handle this kind of high power kind of delivery to GPUs, because as you can see, even the little connectors are way smaller than the 8 pins and the 6 pins and the I think 12 pins, or 10 pins, the ones that go through the older connectors for the GPUs and even for the motherboards. Even the ATX 24 one, it's way bigger than this one. All connectors are bigger because they can handle more wattage, more power to throughout the cable and the connector itself, which by association, the connectors have more surface of contact because they are bigger. So there is less points of resistance on the connection if the connection is not perfectly made. So it doesn't allow to, unless there is like a huge failure on the system, that theoretically it will never like melt the plastic of the connectors themselves. Which is we saw one of two cases, or one at least from Be Quiet power supply side, that burned out, and supposedly this should not happen if the cable is properly seated, or the connectors are properly seated in both ends. And I got this video from J2Sense. It's a recent one, I think, from I saw it yesterday, and I didn't notice until now that the cables, I don't know if I can, around here, I think. Here, as you can see, this is an issue because some CableMod made an official response. I recommend you to watch the video. I will leave a link on the video here. I never noticed that, of course, this is according to spec, and any connection here on this side and on the other side of the 90 degrees, and even on the other side of the cables, of the power supplies and everything is on spec. The problem with the spec, it's something that I never noticed. As you see in the image, you have like basically 1 millimeter out of of not being properly seated, but it's clipped, you know, it's properly connected. For all intents and purposes, it's properly connected. So there is like a sag here. It wobbles, in this case, in this image orientation, left and right, but it doesn't wobble like front and back in the orientation that we are seeing this image. And this leaves, because the connectors are so small, they are not fully seated between each other, so there is less margin of error of creating like resistance, because the less point of contact that you have on an electric connection, the more resistance it gives, because then this is a 4090, it demands a lot of power, so the power has to pass through less surface contact because it creates that resistance, it will start heating up. And I think this is one of, if not the main reason why everything is burning, because 99% or at least 95% of the times there has been connectors burned out, it's here where it connects to the GPU. Again, this is even because the margin of errors are lower, because the connector to a certain degree it's smaller, so, and it has more connections to be made in the pin on the connector itself, more pins in the connector itself, gives less margin of error in terms of precision of the connector itself when it's manufactured. And this is one, if not the main issue of why probably everything is burning out on these connectors here. So J2Sense has a video showing how it wiggles and everything. I will leave a link in the description below. But yeah, it's a design flaw, and nobody is going to take responsibility for this. CableMod at this time they sold, I don't know if it is like undisclosed. He talks about in the video. It's like the rate of occurrences of burning out with the CableMods is like only 2 incidents regarding this, but they managed to replace the GPU, which is not their responsibility. It's just a connector and cable manufacturer. If everything is manufactured through spec, there is no need for them to assume this responsibility, something that even the GPU manufacturers don't do. And from what we're hearing, only like 90% or more of the GPUs that the connectors are burning out there, it's coming from basically one manufacturer, which is very weird. I'm not sure which one. I don't remember from the incidents that I saw which kind of GPUs manufacturer were affected at the time. But yeah, if there was, for example, something similar to the PCI 8 or the 6+2 connectors and everything that is at that same size of like the pins, and of course make the connections a little bit bigger because they're 16 pins. For the 12 volt power, but at least the connection will be, I don't know, better. With a clip, because theoretically when you clip here everything should be properly seated, which is not. So it's something wrong on the GPU side connector, or even if everything is on spec, is somebody made a mistake of making the consortium that made the specs for this kind of connection made a huge mistake on designing this. And of course, that's why a lot of them blame user error, because even if you sit it properly, and it's shown on the video, you sit it properly, then you can, for example, mount a GPU, or you mount a GPU, sit it properly here, it clips, everything seems perfect, even confirming visually, but then you reroute the cable, or you just move the case something, and it doesn't need basically any kind of force to remove and put this sag on the connection itself, which is I don't know how they're going to solve it, or they're going to have to redesign this, or we are going to continue to see this kind of incidents occurring, even if you are an expert PC system, I don't know, assembler or something like that. Being like 1 year or 30 years on the market doing mounting systems, there is no user that can't make certain that 100% it will always be fitted if the design doesn't allow it. But yeah, it's my pet peeve. I will continue to push on this button until it dies. The design is a flaw in the design that makes user error to a certain point. I don't think now it's user error, because I thought the design flaw was like another stuff, not this design flaw. It's an oversight of I don't know what they were thinking here. People just, these companies just want to make money, don't give a shit about the consumer. Basically, it's my main take here. They don't have the proper, I don't know how a consortium can put their engineers working on this and oversaw this kind of flaw that might occur. But yeah, I will finish up. I will wrap this subject for today. For sure, unfortunately, there will be more situations like this, because I don't see any movement regarding the consortium and the manufacturers of this kind of pin trying to make a correction at this. Aliens Dark Descent came out. Had some good reviews. I watched a few of them. I managed to pick up the WCCF Tech one. 8.5. It's like a consensus. 8.5. The game is good. The mechanics and everything has a few bugs, visual bugs here and there. Nothing that it's game breaking. It's not a full price game. I think it's around $40 or so. And there is only like a few mechanics here and there that could be less annoying to a certain point on the gameplay wise. But I think also one of the things that it's kind of the game is very good. The gameplay mechanics there are very good. The exception of like the one of the things, it's the traits, the negative traits, how you can manage them. Those can be a little bit annoying because I think there is like some RNG involved. But yeah, the only thing it's wait until it's better polished in terms of like those visual bugs, because if you have to do a reload, it's a little bit annoying, but it's a very good game. So I don't know, maybe wait for a sale or something like that. I know that Christopher Odd is doing a gameplay series on this one. If you want to check it, I will leave his channel on the link, also on the description, if you want to check out. And I think this one on Steam page has a demo. I'm not sure. I will also leave a Steam store front page from this game there. Okay. I spoke about this one regarding Skydance, the developer game, that where Amy Hennig, the lady that did basically the writing for the Uncharted series, and there was where is it? Oh my god, and now I forgot what I was about to tell. This guy, the director of which game? Oh my god, yeah. Rolly Biard was the creative director for the cancelled Star Wars 1313 project. It was cancelled, and then he now joined Amy Hennig in this studio, and they are working on a Star Wars game. I think it's more narrative, action narrative driven, and because they basically were working on this guy was working on it with, and he got. I brought this article again mainly because it has like the gameplay of the cancelled game. It's Boba Fett. I think the story was around like Boba Fett in Coruscant doing hard jobs and going through the bounty hunter life, which was very interesting. And there is like the demo when it came out or was announced, this game, and this is like the unreleased footage, like internal, so a lot of the graphics are not finished, but you can get a good sense of how the game was supposed to be. But yeah, they are working together. Maybe they are going to adapt because the IP belongs to Lucasfilms to all intents and purposes, even if the game is cancelled. And maybe they might take a little bit of what they were developing here on 1313 to the new game that Skydance Games is going to do. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, seems pretty interesting. There have been some good games, especially the Jedi Survivor and the one before that. I forgot the name. But yeah, hopefully we'll get something good out of this, at least on the game side, because the series and the movies, a lot to talk about. But yeah, it's another story for another day. Now on Steam we have Next Fest now. It's like the upcoming games where you can get some free demos. Oh my god, come on, stop jumping. Where some devs are also like live streaming their games, but they are not launch games, so it's something all upcoming, but you can pre-order and all that stuff there. I will highlight at least one or two games, which is Testament, the Order of High Human, because I focus on this one because we saw a vault, like the thing. It's very in line with kind of a vault, what they are trying to do, but of course this is another universe and everything. But you got a demo from this one also. It seems pretty interesting how he's going about it. So you are the chosen one, kind of generics because this is a trailer. But the mechanics seem pretty interesting. How they're going about it with magic, the like range weapons, melee weapons, and everything. Seems pretty interesting. Not the most high definition in terms of graphics, but seems pretty good as its own art style. But yeah. Try it out. They have a demo. If you like it, just wishlist it and wait for reviews when it comes out. Again, don't pre-order anything. It's not worth it. you're just sending the wrong message to the developers, but especially to the publishers. Also, in this next fest, there is Pacific Drive. There is no demo at the moment, but it's one of the games that I'm very interested in. Because of the gameplay mechanics and the gameplay loop there is around this. It's like a survival game. Basically, you're the driver. The car is like your main weapon to a certain degree. As you can see on the loop, you just go on the runs, trying to get resources, try to advance a little bit on the story, and you have to fix, upgrade, whatever you have to do on the car. And the mechanics that go around this seems pretty interesting. You have to survive and like get around the environmental hazards and everything. Seems pretty good. In terms of gaming deals, I've got Ni no Kuni 2, Revenant Kingdom. Revenant Kingdom. It's 85% off, so it's a very good deal. I like this series here. It's Ghibli style. It's a JRPG, so it's very interesting. And like it's fantasy thing, so it's always good to have this kind of games, and they are good. So it's level 5, very well known for doing very good JRPGs. So there is also the first one. I don't think it's on promotion now. I think it was like 1 or 2 weeks ago. Now it's the second one that is on a deal at the moment. Also we have Dying Light, the first one. The package here, 80% off the definitive edition until the 23. Revenant Kingdom is until 26th, and this one until 23. Okay, Dying Light, very good game, a lot of content to go through if you want to, for $10, so I think it's well worth time. The story is a little bit generic, but the gameplay loop here also it's excellent. And lastly we got Observation, but with a caveat here, you have to buy with Stories Untold, but I saw Stories Untold, it got very positive reviews, and you can get like 38% off, so $20 with 2 games. It's always good. It gets cheaper than buying just only Observation. It got all over like 9 out of 10s. It's like sci-fi horror, like exploration a lot, so you got the stories, and I think you have like the camera work there, so you have access to the cameras inside the station. You have to explore and do some puzzles to try to figure out what happened there, from what I understood. And you got an AI, which is always good to classify this one as a horror game. But yeah, basically this is it, guys. I will wrap it up for now. For today, with my GoGetFundMe, for me to upgrade my PC and get better, more content from my private clients, and of course start doing some video stuff for them, and of course my free spare time doing the daily videos, resume my gameplay series, doing some scripted content for some deep dives on some subjects that I like to talk about, and of course probably doing some live streams in the near future. With all that said, guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next one. Till then, Kunamy Master out.